Just a quick video. Some time ago, I brought up the fact that President Obama was thinking of making our veterans pay for their own medical care, or at least having them go through their normal medical insurance before troubling the Veterans Administration or the government to pay for these things. And the veterans felt really upset about it. And I just had these videos and things about it resurface because I think it tells a lot about a guy who flip-flops, and after enough pressure was put on Obama, he finally gave up the concept. And now his buddies, his fans, as usual, don't like the sources of who brought this out to the public. They don't like the idea that Rush Limbaugh brought it out, or Glenn Beck brought it out, or Sean Hannity, or any number of people, Michael Savage, brought this out, that Obama had this attitude. Now, what he was allegedly said, and according to Snopes, he never said it. I believe that's what Snopes said. They said it was only partially true. That we have a volunteer army, and they have to know that there's risks. Actually, policemen must know that there's risks. It's not a piece of cake. If it was, we wouldn't be in such awe of what they do. But Obama essentially said, well, they knew the risks, so what's the big deal? It's an all-volunteer army. And that was a pretty callous attitude, I thought, at the time. But what's very interesting now, all my liberal friends are claiming this is BS, and yet, all the major news people reported that they gave up the idea. Members of the American Legion and Veteran Foreign Wars, they all went to see Obama, and they heard what he had to say. He didn't want to hear about their problems with this, and yet, eventually he acquiesced when the public pressure, and people were in disbelief of what happened. Now my liberal friends are saying, no, it never happened. And if you go back and look for the YouTube, I know I saw YouTube with Obama saying the same thing, defending his position on YouTube in some sort of conference that he had, which was meant to be aired. The media picked up. Now, for some strange reason, there's no video. I've looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and I can't find the video of what I heard him say. I saw him say it on the video, and now the video is gone. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that really, really? And I'm sure someone could retrieve it. Someone would retrieve it, but they don't seem to want to retrieve it. The Republicans, obviously, you would think they want this around to show how Mr. Obama is an out-and-out liar, a flip-flopper, the worst kind. And he'll say he said anything you wanted to hear for him to get elected, and now that he's elected, he's not doing any of the things he said he did. And in certain areas, I'm glad he didn't. But the point is, the people who elected him are all pissed off. I have people who are more worried about Donald Rumsfeld because of the way he treated our POWs down in Cuba, waterboarding and everything else. And yet, they don't seem to care that he forced NutraSweet on us, which is killing us. That was a Donald Rumsfeld thing. He pushed that through the FDA. When the head of the FDA said, "I don't think so," they fired him. They hired someone who would do it. Reminds me of the airplane that got pulled in because there was a mechanical defect on the plane, and they got everybody off, and 5 minutes later they got everybody on. And they said, "Wow, that was quick. They really fixed this plane really quick." They said, "No, they didn't fix the plane. They found a crew that would fly it." And so that's what they did. They found a head of the FDA that would push this NutraSweet through. And you don't hear anybody talk about that. You don't hear about all these people supposedly concerned about our health, talking about that. Then Donald Rumsfeld was basically is wrapped up with Monsanto. He was one of the driving forces of Monsanto. So currently, I think about over 90% on average of all our products or our plants are all genetically engineered. So they can accept all kinds of super high toxic doses of herbicides and insecticides and everything else, so it doesn't kill the plant. And no one cares about that. So we have these people there in a state of denial as to what's going on here. They just they don't care what Rush Limbaugh says. They don't want to hear it. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. I've heard Chris Matthews, as much as I hate him, I think he's a sick pup. A couple of things he said, made sense, and I'll give him credit where credit's due. Senator Casey, I hate his guts, but he actually voted against having the EPA take over the regulation of CO2, which we're breathing out. I'm breathing CO2 out as I speak. Okay, so there's the CO2 coming out. You're pumping it out, and he wants to regulate this. This is BS. So in any event, it's very strange that this video of Obama talking about justifying his position that our vets, if they get injured, essentially they should have known better because it's a dangerous thing, and they volunteered. They have to assume they could get injured. But you can't find that video anyplace. Now all you see is floods of videos showing how much he cares for our vets and all that, which is very, very, very interesting. And the media, I swear there must be some sort of chip that they implanted in these people's brains, and they're afraid that if they say anything, they must get like a shock in their brain or something from the Obama headquarters or something strange. Their head's going to blow up, like scanners or something. I don't know. Very, 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 very strange. Maybe it's a form of mental illness, who knows. In any event, Obama is bad, 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 bad medicine for this country. There's nothing he did intentionally good for this country. And people don't understand. We have to cut costs. We have to cut costs. Now, there's a certain element that, I mentioned this before, 40% of the population doesn't pay any taxes. So therefore, they want the other 60% to pay more taxes. They say, oh, it's only we want the top 1%. Well, the top 1% pays already, I don't know, like 28% of our taxes or something. What do you want, blood? So obviously they're being taxed. If they weren't being taxed, they would be producing that much revenue. It's a very small percentage of population really produces the revenue. And yet, they're made to be deemed like they're criminals. And some of them are criminals. But, arrest them for being criminals. The bankers, the people who exploit the stock exchange, the people who raise the price of gas through speculation. So you don't see anybody even talking about this speculation. They don't want to stop it. I can understand an airline, a freight company, a trucking company, they want to buy futures in oil, fuel. God bless them. They should be able to somehow guarantee their pricing and stabilize the pricing they'll have to pay. But that people have no vested interest in the use of this material buy. This is unbelievable. And you idiots out there, you don't say anything. You don't say a goddamn thing. And then you complain about the price of oil going up. It boggles my mind. It really truly boggles my mind. You must all be, hypnotized. And most of you, it's Dancing with the Stars. I want to be a millionaire. Some of these other reality TV programs, why don't you have your own reality life and make a difference and protest? Write a couple of letters to the editors. Do something. This is serious stuff, and we're the way things are going now. We're pretty much sold out and doomed. So, anyhow, Obama, you're a piece of work. Hopefully, we'll be able to vote you out, and hopefully, you'll be discovered as to who you are, what you are. And I know some of your supporters will probably commit Harry Carey or something because they can't deal with the fact that you're not the Messiah or something. You really lied to get in office. You said you were against mandatory health insurance. You said the biggest difference between me and Hillary Clinton was that I am against mandatory health insurance and she's for it. That's what you told me. That's what you told everybody. You lied to beat Hillary Clinton in the primary, and that's what allowed you to become our, quote, chairman. I call you chairman because essentially you remind me of Chairman Mao. I really, as other people have said, I really wish you were going to have an open administration and deal with the lobbyists and all that, but you chose not to do anything good that you could have done, and you did more of the same. You acted like the mob with GM and Chrysler and the dealerships, and really, people. I don't understand how they can just. I mean, more and more people are showing their disdain for you, but I don't know. Your core members, they'll definitely go down the tubes for you. If you wanted them to do anything you wanted, they would do it. They're in lockstep. It's amazing. I've never seen this. I mean, I voted for all the George Bushes. I know, in various aspects, they were no good. They're crooks. So that's the end of this video. That's the end of the video.